So welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for clicking on subscribe and getting me to 100. I'm over the moon and overjoyed to even make it to 100, to be honest. I never thought that was ever going to happen, especially listening to a Scottish guy rabbiting on in a channel that he's gardening in his lawn. So thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Hopefully that can help bump me up a wee bit up the list, and help the channel to, develop and grow and everything. So thank you so much for that. It really makes such a huge difference to me. So today I'm going to cut the grass in preparation for preparing for the fertiliser that's going to go down. So the fertiliser hopefully come today, and I can get that down on the grass. So that'll be granulated feed for longevity and feeding the grass in a trickle sense. It's long life fertiliser, so it's not something that's going to be sort of going quick, but it should last me sort of 8 to 12 weeks in the grass. And then I've got some high nitrogen liquid feed that I'm going to be adding to the grass to give it a little bit of a booster. Both of the liquid and the granulated feeds have magnesium in them, which encourages photosynthesis and also encourages a good tone of green within your lawn as well. So and also trace elements and things like iron, for example, to give you that boost. So it's really good. Thank you for thanks for sticking with me and going through that process. I know it can be a bit difficult trying to figure out what you guys want to see and whether or not you want to see me just rabbiting on all the time, or you want to see more about how the grass cutting is going on. So I've got the lawnmower out at the moment. I've got my blade cartridge in it, still fine in terms of the blade to the bottom blade, so cutting should be decent. And I'm just going to skim over the top of this and get it ready. The other thing I'm going to do today is probably going to have to feed some of the plants. So I'll come back in a later part of the video and I'll show you the backpack sprayer that I use. I started on a steel backpack manual sprayer. I'm now on a FlowZone Typhoon battery powered, which makes a huge difference at this size of garden, because you're not kind of ending up with a Popeye arm or whatever, pumping away, manual pumping. So that's really good. So I use general purpose food and seaweed, and I mix that in with water and spray that onto the plants, and that just seems to give them enough to keep them going over that period of time. So yeah, I'm going to get cutting, probably shut up for a minute, and you can have a watch of the process as I go around the lawn to cut things. So got the Allett out, fully charged battery, and I'll go around the perimeter of the grass first, and then I'll go up and down here doing some stripes, and you'll be able to see that on the video. So let's get going. So I'm just running around the outside here, cutting away. I did the edges this morning, so I don't have to worry about going back over this with my feet and messing up my lovely stripes. It's a great lawnmower. The fact that it's a lot easier to use and is slightly quieter than the petrol was and the Atco that I had before. So I'm just going to sort of spin around here. I'm going to line up my edge here, and what I want to do is try and look down my stripe and see where I want to go. So just bring the lawnmower right up to the edge of where I need it to be for my cut, and then just go down the stripe. Have a nice firm hand to bring down and do your cut. And you'll end up with a really nice looking quality cut right down your stripe. The only problem I've got is I'm always bringing debris on with this, with the back of my shoe, so I'm always having to tidy and clear that up. But anyway, I'll just be quiet so you can see these nice stripes getting generated. I've also not got really unlimited money to spend on fertiliser, so I would love to spend like £2,000 or £3,000 a year on my fertiliser regime. I just don't have the money to do that really. I'm selling a property just now, so a lot of my time and my money is going on, you know, making sure that's the best it can be. So once that's gone, I've got a wee bit more time and a wee bit more money, then I'll be able to devote what I want to into this process. Under here, hopefully you can see that. I'll just take out some of these grass clippings. Just get them out off of the machine. I wish there was a lawnmower that you could get that just doesn't generate so many grass clippings. Yes, I could use a rotary, I suppose, but a rotary just doesn't give you this kind of quality of cut. So this is the grass clippings. Looks good on the video, doesn't it? It always looks darker on the video, but I'm not doing any colour correction. On the video, that's what it looks like. In person, it looks just ever so slightly lighter, but you can still see the stripes and they still look fantastic. This is the grass box and clippings that you get. And this is 2 days worth of growth. 2 days. That's it. I'm cutting this every 2 days and it's growing like crazy. This is why I do this, because there's nothing more satisfying than seeing a clean edge on your grass down here. I went round with the scissors, so I don't use a strimmer. I find the strimmer just kind of shreds the edge of the grass, so I actually just use a pair of good old-fashioned scissors. These are really good quality scissors, by the way. I'll put a link in the description for these. Again, I'm not sponsored to say anything nice about these ones, but for a brand called CK. I got them on Amazon. Great reviews. What I like about them is that they're a proper scissor, hardened steel, and the guillotining action on the scissor basically sharpens the edge for you. I had another one from another brand. I'm not going to badmouth brands on my channel and just say that it wasn't that great. After about 6 months of use, it stopped cutting. It's just missing, but it wasn't hardened steel. It was a sort of other cheaper material. So these were quite expensive. These were about £70. Seems a lot for, you know, a pair of scissors, but again, I'm a person that you get what you pay for. I'd rather pay slightly more at the start and get the longevity from it than buy something I'm going to replace in 6 months. So these are really, really good. They give you a really nice cut. And the other thing that's good about them is they're height adjustable. So you can press this wee button here and you can slide the handle up and down, which is great. Anyone of any height overall. So I'd recommend these. I'll put them, as I said, I'll put the link in the description. Feel free to go and have a look at it. The reviews, you'll see the same. Good investment. And what I tend to do is sometimes I go round the edge after I've cut the grass, but what happens with that is you then see your footprints around the edge of the grass and it spoils your look that you might want to achieve like this. So do your edges first, then do your stripes, and you just end up with a nice clean look around the perimeter and the border of your grass. So I've got a lot of edges here to do. It takes me about half an hour to cut the edges. So half an hour on this lawn and about 15 minutes on the front lawn, so 45 minutes. I don't do this for a business, so this is just for me. So I don't mind taking the time and then kind of going through that process. It's very therapeutic, seeing a clean edge appearing. I'm sure many of you will agree. So I'm going to keep cutting up and down, and then I might switch direction, and I'll show you the sort of finished results later on. As I said, I'm getting this ready for some fertiliser application, which I'll do hopefully if the stuff arrives today. I'll do that later on, and then I can water it and then get it started, get the process going. So okie doke, I'll leave it there and I'll get on with my process, and then I'll bring you back after towards the end. Right, cheers. So this is the result of the cut. As you can see, looking really nice. Stripes are popping right out. Just looks nice. I've managed to perfect the overlap on the Allett now, so that I can get equal stripes on both sides of the diamond, which I'm pleased at. And this is the resulting impact. It just looks awesome. See the stripes down this far, all the way around. Nice hanging baskets and everything. And the grass looks really quite decent, going right down here. It's so nice and warm, and the soil's nice and warm, which is great. Really pleased with that overall. So this will get the dose of fertiliser, and in a few days I should start to see some impact from the liquid, and then I'll get some impacts from the granulated over the next couple of months just to keep the grass going strong. But this is how it looks. Just think it looks absolutely incredible. Yep, really liking that. So yeah, that's back done. I'll get the front done shortly, just have a wee break just now. It's very warm already, probably about 23, 24 just now. So yeah, looking decent. And got the lupin here, just waiting for some more flowers, blueberry bush. And then over here, this lovely foxgloves. Because the wind tends to come in this direction, the foxgloves have been kind of blown over. So my dad, he was doing some stuff last night, and he made this sort of wee support frame for them just to help them, and also trimmed them a wee bit. So this is looking really nice. It's a lovely smell and it's lovely and fresh. So yeah, everything's looking decent. Alright, I'll get on with the front and then I'll show you that as well. Welcome back to the video. This is the afternoon. Cut the grass this morning, so that's been fixed and looking decent. Liquid feed's arrived, so this is an 18510 with some trace elements in it. High nitrogen feed promotes strong growth, and I've also mixed in some seaweed as well, which helps for root development, heat stress, and drought stress as well for the plant as it's growing. So it helps to get better utilisation of the waters and the liquids that you're applying into the ground. So I've mixed that up in my backpack sprayer, and I've agitated all of the particles to mix them all together. So 15 litres of water with an appropriate amount of this product and the seaweed. So I actually use Hebridean seaweed. So being a Scottish channel, I thought I would use Scottish products. So this is the big, very heavy 20 litre seaweed. So I bought one of these this year, and that's how much I've used so far. I've probably used, I don't know, just under half actually. So that's a really good product. And Hebridean, spends half of its time in the sea, half of the time dry, so perfect conditions for putting down on your lawn. So bit of that, bit of the nitrogen, and past that I've already put down the granulated feeds as well. So this is the granulated feed. So this is a 20 kilogram bag, and I've put down half of this. So this is a long life fertiliser, and it should give me the longevity I need. So six to 8 weeks of growth potential and releasing nutrients into the grass. So I've already applied that with a rotary spreader. It's very easy. There's plenty of videos out there showing you how to do that. But basically on the stripe here, I went up and down every third stripe, so that created the nice radial effect that you get from the rotary spreader. So up and down, up and down, up and down across the grass, depositing the right amount, and making sure that when you're going towards the end as you take your hand off the trigger, because what you don't want to happen is what I did last year, which over here I caused fertiliser burn because I turned round as I was holding the trigger, and that basically deposited too much on the ground and burned the grass. So you need to remember, as you're going up and down the stripes, when you're getting towards the end, just release it, and there's enough in the spinning mechanism to keep you going to the end, and then you just turn around and start again. So really good idea to do that. So I've already applied that down. That's 1417. That's got magnesium, calcium. So magnesium and calcium are really good for photosynthesis and also for improving the plant's health, and also promoting a darker green sward. There's also iron in that as well. Wee bit of word of caution: if you've got any stone chips or slabs around your grass, just be careful when you're depositing that on it, because when that gets wet, it can actually stain hard surfaces. So make sure that you sweep that off before that becomes a problem. So just up and down and applied that. 10 kilograms of that did 250 square meters, and that was absolutely fine. So front and back grass have had equal amounts of that. So what do I use for my backpack sprayer? So this is my backpack sprayer here. It's a FlowZone Typhoon. I got it from Garden Imports UK, and it's a battery powered sprayer. So the one thing I did buy from Steel, which is compatible with the ends here, is a brass 120 degree nozzle, and that just gives the appropriate amount of fan radius so that you can kind of apply this product. So I've mixed it in, and what I'm going to do is walk up the middle of every 3 stripes and basically just spray this and follow the stripes up and down the grass until I get down the appropriate amount of product. So I turn it on at the side here. There's a wee switch at the side. It's topped up at the top, and I've now got 15 litres in this. So it's just a matter of creating a steady pace up and down and just filling up what you need to. So here we go. So you'll see here as we're going, we're just applying it straight up to the end. So that's the first one done, first 2 stripes, second 2 stripes. Like that. and I can see I'm about half empty in the tank, and I've done that. That's been applied all the way around, and that should start activating and feeding the lawn and brightening it up. Now what I would suggest is, after it's been down for maybe an hour or so, hour and a half, 2 hours, is actually water your grass, and that'll help get that product down into the soil where it's desperately needed as well. So yeah, quite pleased with that. It's a good product, easy to put down, easy to mix up. I'm applying a high dose at the moment, so I put in 3 litres of the product for 13 litres of water, and I have done some seaweed on top of that, mixed in with some water as well, and I've agitated and mixed all that around, so there's plenty in there to encourage the growth. So I'm going to go and get the front done just now, and then I'll show you the watering as I'm finishing off. So this is where we are so far. Applied all the products down, and it's looking really decent. Every stripe is a reference, so you spray it down and you just up and down each stripe. Just make sure you get the product into the ground, onto the grass, and it'll start doing its job there and then. Make sure you mix it up appropriately and you apply it down. The darkness that you're seeing here isn't dark from the fertiliser, it's actually dark from the shade of the tree that's creating that in the grass. So that's been applied down, it's looking good, and the products I use today are the G8 Amvista 1417 NPK with added magnesium and calcium for root growth and colour. Then I've got the Liquid L1 Nitrogen High Nitrogen Boost 18510, excellent product. And I've also got the Hebridean seaweed here for root growth and stress, heat stress and drought stress, to help the plant survive during these warm temperatures. And they were all applied with the FlowZone Typhoon, which you can see here. If you're going to have any sort of investment in your garden, you're going to be feeding your plants, and you've got a garden that's, you know, big, large, and you need to get out and feed every single one of the plants that you've got here. As you can see, there's a significant amount of these as we're going around. Then invest in one of these. I got this from Garden Imports UK, and it was £299 with a few accessories that I bought for it, including one that allows you to use the Walt batteries instead of the native one. Now I've had this for about 8 weeks. I charged the battery once and it's down to 3 bars of 5, and I've used it every 3 weeks and it's not even batted an eye. So yep, this is where we are today, and hopefully with the fertiliser, watering, seaweed and the liquid products, that will get the grass to green up over the next few weeks to come. But you can see what it looks like today, still looking good. Stripes are still showing, and this is what you can see. So pleased with the overall look. So thanks very much for everyone that's subscribed, really appreciate it, and stay tuned for more interesting content. You'll see the development of this and see if these products actually do the job and promote a healthy grass surface and healthy root system and a nice lush lawn in August to come. Alright guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much indeed, and take care. Cheers.